Good Saturday morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Nathan Kitchens here with an Indiana forecast update. Hope you all are doing well and hopefully you're staying warm. It's a cold start to the day. We have temperatures in the lower to mid 20s all across the state. A little bit more in the way of cloud cover this morning. These high-level cirrus clouds, so it'll kind of make for some dim sunshine going through today. It will be a little bit warmer than what we had during the day yesterday, but still a lot cooler than what we should be for this time of the year. We have a system coming in late tonight and throughout the day Sunday. It's just going to give us some light precipitation, cold enough to see a wintry mix in northern parts of the state going into the day on Sunday. Showers for the rest of us, and we'll discuss this system and any possible impacts here throughout this forecast update. Looking at the upper level jet stream pattern this morning, we do have overall a more progressive flow setting up across the United States. Our disturbance that will be affecting the areas all the way out here into the Pacific Northwest. This thing is going to just zip on by to the east over the next 12 to 24 hours, and that will be giving us some of that precipitation going through the day on Sunday. So let's time things out here. Again, today we're just fine. The entire day today is dry, so any outdoor plans, you're going to be in good shape. Just want to bundle up a little bit because it will be a little bit chilly. So we're dry throughout the entire day, and I really think this evening we're going to be okay as well. Now, as we go into the evening, it's the forecast at 9 o'clock this evening, or 10 o'clock I should say, and you're starting to see some light precipitation working in the northwest parts of the state. But I do want to mention that the low levels of our atmosphere are very dry. So you're going to see this moisture on the radar, but the key is it's probably not going to be reaching the surface for quite some time because it's going to take some time to really saturate the low levels of our atmosphere. We have an unseasonably dry air mass over us this morning, and it's just going to take some time before that moisture at the upper levels could finally make it down to our low levels for here where we live at the surface to see some of that precipitation reaching the ground. So I think it's really going to be mainly beyond midnight when we start to see some of this light precipitation starting to reach the ground, mainly in northern parts of the state. And temperatures are going to be key here, right around that freezing mark. I think we'll see maybe a little bit of shower activity initially, but I think we'll see some snow mixing in throughout the late night hours tonight, early Sunday morning, as well as some sleet and rain as well. So it's going to be just kind of a nasty mix of all different precipitation types here through the late night hours across northern sections of the state. And then the rest of us are generally looking at that light rain activity moving through. And as we go throughout the early morning hours Sunday, this is the forecast at 7 o'clock Eastern. This would be 6 o'clock Central Time for those of you up near Gary in the Central Time Zone. You see some of this pink here. There's the chance for that, again, that mix of precipitation going throughout the morning, early morning hours Sunday. And I think this could create a few slick spots. Can't be completely rolled out there. But overall, I don't think this is going to be any big concern for the roadways up towards Fort Wayne, South Bend, Goshen, and Plymouth. Those general areas, and then west towards Gary and LaPorte, kind of a mix there of precipitation. You may see a slushy coating of snow in spots on mainly the grassy areas, the rooftops. Overall, I don't think the roadways are going to be a huge concern here, but it is possible we could see a few slick spots, and it concerns me a little bit because we're so cold right now. We have this unseasonably cold air mass over us, so that makes the road temperatures a little bit colder here. So just something to keep in mind, but as long as there's some treatment on the roads, I would not foresee any problems there. And then going throughout the morning hours Sunday, I think we'll continue to have a little bit of a mix there in northern Indiana. The rest of us here in Indy and southern Indiana, most of our shower activity doesn't come in though with the system until we get to about mid-morning and onward on Sunday. And then going into Sunday afternoon, this is when we kind of get into the peak of this system. It looks like northern Indiana should generally switch to just some rain Sunday afternoon. I think it's generally just going to be warm enough for rain there all across the state. And again, central Indiana, Indianapolis, we don't have any concerns for any wintry mix there. So we're going to be in good shape. We're just talking about cold rain across central and southern Indiana throughout the day on Sunday. And again, it's going to be light and scattered in nature. So this isn't just an all-day deluge of rain. And this is overall a pretty weak system moving through. Now, as we go into Sunday evening, there's the forecast radar at 5 o'clock. You see the showers moving across the state, and you start to see a little bit of wet snow trying to mix back in here in the far northwest sections of the state as we get on the back end of this system. And I continue to think that will be a possibility to see some wet snow mixing in and possibly changing to wet snow as this comes to an end Sunday evening and Sunday night across northern Indiana. And that lingering moisture is something we're going to have to watch closely. Forecast at 7 o'clock. It does try to switch things over to a little bit of wet snow. I think this model is too aggressive on this, but I do think there will be that chance there for areas like Gary, LaPorte, South Bend, Plymouth, Fort Wayne, Goshen, Elkhart, Angola. Those general areas see a little bit more of a mix coming in as we go beyond sunset Sunday evening, and as this precipitation begins to move out Sunday night, we do see a little bit of more in the way of that snow mixing in there, and then it starts to move out here beyond midnight. So that's something we'll have to watch closely. I do think with temperatures near freezing or so, the impacts won't be too big here. Couldn't rule out a couple slick spots though in far northern sections of the state later on Sunday night. So just keep that in mind. But then the rest of us, again, I don't think we'll be looking at any concerns for any slick roadways because we're just going to be looking at some of that rain moving through. So the system moves out late Sunday night, and then we look to dry things out here going into the day on Monday. Take a look at temperatures. A cold weekend here. Temperatures this afternoon around 40 in Indy, low to mid 40s to the south, 30s up to the north. And then tonight, temperatures will be key here as that precipitation begins to move in. You're right around that freezing mark there in northern sections of the state. So it's very iffy to say whether or not there would be any slick roadways or not. I'm not going to rule out a couple slick spots there early Sunday morning, mainly some slushy spots there, and mainly maybe a coating of sleet or snow on some of the grassy and elevated surfaces, but I don't think it's going to be overall a major deal here. And then going through today, Sunday, it's chilly, but again, we're well above freezing in northern Indiana, so during the day, basically, there's no concerns for any slick roadways. It's just going to be too warm. And then the rest of us in the 40s. And then Sunday night, we do see temperatures falling back here to right around freezing in northern sections of the state. So as that precipitation kind of lingers and starts to move out here, I think we could see a couple slick spots develop here in northern sections of the state. But then further to the south here in central and southern Indiana, we should be just fine with temperature staying above freezing. And then we'll get a little bit warmer going through today, Monday, with dry conditions returning. Now, there's not a whole lot of moisture with this system. We're generally talking here basically around a 1/10 inch or so. Some areas get 2/10 of an inch of snow out of the system. And then going forward into next week, we're going to be dry Monday and Tuesday. Our next rain system looks to come in throughout the day on Wednesday. Let me go back here. As we go throughout the day Wednesday, this rain will move in. It looks like a fairly decent rainmaker moving through. And then we'll see more rain chances coming in by the end of next week. So that's all I have for your Indiana forecast. If you have any questions about your specific area, please let us know. We're happy to help you, and have a great Saturday, everyone.